Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Chris Thorns, coming to you with another story. I want to say this first of all before we get into it. Men, you are one of the main reasons why I'm doing this story. Put a pin mark in it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Um, you're one of the main reasons why I'm doing this story. But in that though, guys, welcome to the Chris Thorns Show.
What are you waiting for, huh?
What am I waiting for? Days.
All right, guys, what's going on? Your man, Chris Thorns, and always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you watch my content. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. All right, I want to iterate again. Me, you one of the main reasons why I'm doing this story, and I will tell you why in just a minute. But of course, it's mainly advocating for this precious baby who I'm about to advocate now. I looked up this child's name, and I thought I did this story once before, but apparently I didn't. At least from what I looked up, I didn't see that I did it, but we're going to I am going to do it today, and I was sent this from Mystic Queen, Miss Queen. I was sent this from her. I appreciate you sending me this, and as always, guys, it's just crazy out here of how these children are being done. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about the baby name is Jackiza Alexander. I believe I'm saying it right, Jackiza Alexander. Yes, I am saying it right. 4-year-old Jackiza Alexander. And what happened here, Shawna Hooey, the woman who you see scrolling across with the child, she's 33 years old. This coming out of Tomball. Not sure where it's Tomball at, but I can look it up. I can look it up, but it's coming out, Texas, Tomball, Texas. Sorry, Tomball, Texas. That's where it's coming from. And she just been sentenced to 50 years for killing her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter. Wow, that's just crazy. You killing her 4-year-olds, the boyfriend 4-year-old daughter. But you know what? Let's get right into it, guys. And hey, I'll tell you how I feel.
Well, new tonight, a woman who beat a 4-year-old girl to death had an emotional outburst when she received her sentence. ABC 13's Luke Jones was in the courtroom and is live with a verdict you'll only see on 13. Luke?
And Eric, it's been an emotional 4.5 years for the family of that girl, knowing they'll never get her back, but wondering if at least they could get justice. Well, today it was the defendant who was emotional. The first time prosecutors say they've ever seen her this way.
Of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for 50 years.
Oh, Jesus Christ, look at their face. Wow.
Bursting into tears as she learns her fate. 50 years in prison for beating her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter, Jackiza Alexander, to death.
You're not the victim, Shawna.
That's the little girl's grandmother, taking the stand to read an impact statement after sentencing.
For her to cry now, I don't understand that, because she didn't cry through any of her statements or any of the police investigating.
It's an investigation that led police to Hooey's Tomball home. It's here on September 7th, 2019. They say the mother of 5 used a blunt object to beat Jackiza.
I think everybody always wonders why somebody would do this.
A question that's never been answered because to this day, Hooey denies doing it. The day of the murder, she took Jackiza to the emergency room and told 2 different stories. First, that Jackiza rammed herself into a toilet roll dispenser. Then she said it was a doorknob.
Okay, she ran herself into a toilet dispenser. And what?
First, that Jackiza rammed herself into a toilet roll dispenser. Then she said it was a doorknob.
Then it was a doorknob. The shit that these people come up with, man, you cannot make this shit up. But let's continue.
And my niece was barely 30 pounds. So how she could cause deep bruising in her head and make her spine come unattached to her body.
Bruising to her head and the spine come unattached from her body. Ooh, that sent chills up my spine. That is brutal. That is brutal.
I'll never know.
The medical examiner found brain bleeding, bleeding at the base of Chakasa's eyes, and multiple bruises. What's more, they found evidence that some of the girl's injuries were 1 to 2 weeks old.
She was a big part of our lives. We don't have a lot of girls in our family, so it's a huge missing part of our life.
It's hard. For 4 years, it's been just miserable.
And now, it's someone else's turn.
She only cried when it was about herself, when the sentence came down, when she was convicted yesterday.
Luke Jones,
Oh,
ABC
look at that
13,
baby.
Eyewitness News.
You know, like my grandma always say, that's a scandalous, that's a shame. You know, what I say from the legendary Eddie Murphy, it's a motherfucker ridiculous, okay? Let's get right into it. Men, I want to start out by saying this. The reason I'm saying that you one of the main reasons why I'm doing this story is because of this. And y'all heard me say this plenty of time for the men who do listen to me. Men, I get on the women and say, you know, you need to be careful about who you let around your children. And I'm going to stand on that because that is a true statement. But I also say that men, it ain't just them. We have to be careful who we bring around our kids because these women are just as nuts, okay? These women are nuts. Just like the nutty ass men who would kill somebody else's child, let alone theirs. You know, so this is why I'm doing it mainly because of y'all, because this right here stands true to what I be saying. You know, but y'all gonna listen to me one day. Y'all gonna listen to me one day. You know, I don't know when that day gonna come, but you're gonna listen to me one day, all right? This was her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter. Now, this motherfucker right here already had 5 children. And when she with the boyfriend, that was an extra child or whatnot. Okay, cool. When you date people, you have to take the package that come with it. It ain't no, I forget how y'all say that, you know, you can't separate the milk without the cow, some shit like that. Some of y'all gonna tell me in the comment section how y'all say that. You know, you can't ride with the mom and don't accept the package that come with the mom, just like you cannot ride with the dad and don't accept the package that comes with the dad. If you're going to be with them, you got to accept everything that comes with them, from their good to their flaws and everything. You can't just shun out children and just deal with the mom. Even though we just got people who do that, we got people who do that who actually kill their children just to please their partner, you know, so their partner won't lead them. And I think that's the sickest shit somebody can do, you know. So men, please take heed to this. This is why I say we have to be careful too, you know. And like I said, you know, we see a pretty face, big tits, big ass, all that stuff. You know, hey, a lot of us go crazy. We don't do no background checks, this to the third, but it's come to the time now, especially to hear this story. We need to do the same thing. Now, you got a lot of women who do background checks on us, and, you know, I used to have a problem with it, but then when they tell me their stories, how they used to have a stalker or whatnot, I can understand why they do it. So anybody can search my name, you want to find a damn thing, all right? I'll clean that squid so you won't find shit, you know? So, guys, let this story be key to what I've been saying. I'm pretty much sure a lot of people have been saying it too. Let this story be key to why we should be careful of letting women around our children. Okay, so that's why I say y'all one of the main reasons I'm doing this story. But other than that, let's advocate for this baby right here. All right. They say this woman didn't show no emotion whenever she did her statements, things like that. It is the first time she showed emotion. Somebody said it best, because it was about her now. She didn't give a shit about the child, okay? Because if she did, that would have never happened, okay? And it may be one of those situations that she probably got into it with the dad and took out her frustration on the dad's child, you know? Who knows? Who knows? It would take for the dad to come out and speak on that, you know, if I'm right or wrong on that, okay? But I always say, we all have habits, okay? A lot of us got bad habits. When we get around new people, we try to hide our bad habits. You can't hide them, but only for so long. All right? After so long, the bad habits are going to start coming out. You're going to hide them for so long. A wise woman told me that once, and them words going to forever stick with me. This is why I love talking to elders a lot of times, because they could teach us youngins a thing or two. And that's one of the things they was taught to me. Yep, You can sit up here and try to hide, you this, you that, you this, you that, but eventually the real you and your real self is going to come out. How you do anything. If you trifling, that's going to come out. If you're nasty, that's going to come out, all right? If you're drunk, that's going to come out. If you a weed head, that's going to come out. If you smoke, that's going to come out. I mean, it's all going to come out because this is a habit that you have, you know? But the funny thing about it is, you know, when you speak on and say, okay, that's not what I like, you have a lot of people say, well, I'm trying to kick the habit. No, you're not. No, you're not. You don't have to say that to please me or please anybody else. If smoking and stuff is your thing, then hey, go ahead and do it. If you want to change that, let it be because of you, not because of me or anybody else. Let it be because you want to change, or maybe somebody had an influence in your life to make you want to change, all right? But, you know, if you're not ready to kick the habit, you know, don't kick the habit just to be with somebody. When you ready, let that be when you ready, all right? But she only showed emotions when the sentence was read to her. That's because the lady didn't give a fuck. Don't say she don't give a fuck about her, okay? One of those situations, hey, okay, if you and that guy was probably the only one staying in that house, or however, if you didn't do it, then who did? Okay? Everybody always get up in there and say they didn't do it, they was innocent and blah, 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 blah. All right? But she still maintains her innocence and say that she did not do it. As a matter of fact, let's see. I was just looking at some saying she maintained her innocence. I think this may be it right here. So again, this is coming out of Texas. It says the Tomball woman convicted of beating her boyfriend's 4-year-old daughter to death learned her fate Wednesday. All right. I believe it's past Wednesday talking about. Only Eyewitness News was in the courtroom when Shawna Hooey was sentenced to 50 years in prison. Hooey and members of her family burst into tears as the verdict was read, prompting a rebuke from the victim's grandmother as she read an impact statement after the sentences. You are not the victim, Vonda Harris said. Prosecutors said Hooey, who has 5 children of her own, used a blunt object to beat Jackiza Alexander to death at her home on September the 7th, 2019. It's unknown what Hooey's motive was since she repeatedly denied committing a crime. On the day of the murder, prosecutors said she took Jackiza to an emergency room and told staff 2 different versions of what happened. In one, she claimed Jackiza rammed herself into a toilet roll dispenser, which I heard. And another, she claimed it was a donut. See, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all remember when I say, you know, if you got, the saying goes, if you got 10 people in a room and all 10 people is accusing you of the same thing, can you really just sit up here and say that they are lying? All right? And the old saying goes, no, if 10 people is saying you did the same thing, then all of them can't be lying on you. But I also say, you know, it could be a small percentage, you know, but everybody will have to rehearse the story to get it right. They'll have to rehearse the story. You know, all 10 of them ain't gonna remember their story. All right, they probably remember bits and parts of it, but are they gonna remember the exact way the story was told? No. That's why we used to play that game called telephone. We was in elementary school. You know, the teacher tell one person something in the ear, and it's supposed to go all around a circle. And the last person who said something to supposed to tell the teacher what was said, and the teacher would tell you if that's what she said or not, or that's what he said or not. And a lot of times when they get to the last person, that's not what they said, and it'd be way off. All right, connect that to this right here. If she was innocent, it would not be no 2 different stories. It would have been the same story. All right, but then I don't think nobody would have really believed that a child ran herself into a tissue dispenser. Come on now. Even adults don't ram themselves into a damn tissue dispenser because a lot of times it's kind of low or whatnot, you know, depending on kind of house you got. So even that was me, she told me that's the stupidest shit I would have ever heard. The only way a child would have had that done to them is somebody had to force or push them into something like that. And even with that, I don't really think it would have did much damage. Maybe a bruise, depending on what part of the toilet paper dispenser that they hit. It might leave just a little bruise. Then you say a doorknob. Okay, doorknob, same name. Probably leave a bruise or something, or leave a black eye, Or I think that may be possible, she may ran into a doorknob or something. That could have been possible, but the way they explaining what's going on, it would have left all that on that baby. So come on now. If she was innocent, there would not be two versions of the story. It'd be one straight story, and she would have took to that story. Which to me, you're already saying you get to right there because you would have to make up two stories. All right? You had to make up two stories. So with that being said, ma'am, yeah, 9 times 10 you did it. Y'all saw the lady, she said that the girl was barely 30 pounds. Okay, so how could she cause deep bruising on her head and make her spine come unattached to her body? That shit sent chills down my spine when I heard that. The head is detached from the spinal cord. No, ma'am. This was some kind of personal issue and some kind of vendetta, and you took it out on this baby. Okay? And you a sick son of a bitch for doing that. That is sick, guys. These stories are sick. And I can understand why a lot of y'all probably can't hear this stuff or watch this stuff because of the sick stuff that the story is being portrayed. But however, though, like I was telling somebody, if you could listen to what they call the beef sector or the beef sector or whatnot, and some of the nasty, disgusting shit that a lot of them say, how come you can't listen to this? The only difference with the beef sector, how they say it, only different with them, as far as I know, nobody went out and killed nobody, so that's a plus. It's just a lot of shit talking, but it's the stuff that they say they could be almost just as disgusting as you hear these stories. So, I don't, I really don't get it, but hey, it is what it is. All right. Then as I read another article, Hooey was taking care of the 4-year-old along with her own 5 children when she took the little girl to a 24-hour emergency room. Now, it said Jakaisa's father had sole custody of his daughter and worked at nights. There it is. Okay, he worked at nights. The little girl began living with Hooey and her children in a 4-bedroom home in Tomball after Jakaisa's father started dating Hooey. Because of his work schedule, Jakaisa's father stayed with family members who lived closer to his job. Oh, no. Oh, no. So for reading this right, the father was letting the girl stay with her, and he was staying with family members because his job was closer to where the family members stayed at. Ooh. And then it say he seldom saw his daughter. That's not good. That's not good. He did not see her for at least 2 months before her death, except through video calls. Okay, what's going on here? That's not good. That is not good. When Hooey took the girl to the emergency clinic on the day she died, the 4-year-old body was already cold. And they saying she told at least 4 different stories. Jesus Christ. Wow. Wow, this is crazy, man. This other article is brutal. I'll post this link to the other article up in there because this is wow. This is Jesus Christ. She told 4 stories. She said the girl had to be woken up and was taking deep breath, labored breaths, and not acting normally. So Hooey drove her around in a hot car to try to get her to breathe normally. Hooey then drove home, changed clothes, and took Jakaisa's body to the emergency clinic. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm blown away by that now. I am so blown away by it now. I'm speechless. Now hearing what this man was doing, I'm speechless. You left your daughter with this woman and barely saw this woman? Barely saw this girl? So meaning, hey, you barely was at home with Hooey. You barely was at home with her. And you had custody of her. Wow, you can't make this shit up, man. Who does that? Who the fuck does that? I'm speechless, guy. I don't even know what else to say after that. I really don't know what else to say. It's almost now. Sound like now this woman got mad at that man over something. She got mad at him over something. And she took it out on that baby. That's what it sounded like to me. She probably got mad because this man was hardly at home. And probably was asking him to come to the house. And probably was asking him to do X, Y, Z. But he barely was there. So she just clicked and took it out on this baby. That's what I'm thinking. Until he come out and say otherwise. Wow, guys, this is fucking insane. I cannot believe I just read that. I cannot believe I just read that in the article, man. I'm fucked up behind it, man. You got custody of your baby. And was barely seen other than video calls. Come on, man. Come on, man. So my thing is this, man. If you couldn't barely be at the house, then why you just take your baby there to the family member's house with you? Of course, guys, a lot more questions than answers. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this when you hear this. And if anybody know about this or you part of the family or whatnot, man, hey, my platform is open because maybe I got it wrong. But that's not good. That's not good at all. All right, guys, I'm your man, Chris Thorns. I will see y'all next time.